Hi. In this podcast, we take a look at how to write a game design document. In previous podcasts, we've looked at how to write a film treatment on the film side. We've looked at how to write a book proposal on the book side. We've looked at how to do a press kit on the music side. And here we talk about how to do a game design document if you are on the gaming side. So, what is the game design document? Well, it's a document that is designed to do two things. Number one, excite the reader, and number two, inform the reader. If after reading your document, the reader isn't very enthusiastic about your game, or if they lack clarity about what the game is about, then it's going to be problematic. So let's take a look at these sections of the document. There are three basic sections of your document that must be included. The first is just a general information section. This is just a basic overview. It must grab the reader's attention. So particularly in the first paragraph, not unlike the query letter that we've talked about in a previous podcast where you want to grab the reader's attention, here you want to do the same thing right away in your opening paragraph. And in this section, this general information section, walk the reader through the general aspects of the game. Just the general aspects at this point. Later on in the subsequent sections, you'll go through some of the more specifics. But what are some of the features, the main features of the game? What different play modes are there? The next section of the game design document is what we call just a detailed game description section. This is where you talk a little bit about what the high concept of the game is, talk about the background story, because sometimes your game will have a long or extended narrative, such as the case of like Zelda. So talk a little bit about that. Talk about, is the game linear? Does it jump around chronologically? Talk about the game objectives. The player's objectives. Are they just supposed to get the most points possible, or are they supposed to rescue the princess? Talk a little bit about that. Talk about the gameplay itself, how that works. Can you provide a walkthrough of what the game is? And talk about the game difficulty. Is this a game for 10, 12-year-olds, or is it maybe a game that's more geared towards adults? So talk a little bit about this in the detailed game description. The next section is what we just call the other aspects of the product design. Talk about the specific characters and provide character descriptions. Talk about locations that are used in the game. Is this like in the case of, are there haunted houses? Does the game take place out in the streets of some city? Talk a little bit about that. Talk about, is the game a single or multiplayer game, or both perhaps? But that's important to note. Talk about the controls, how the controls work, talk about the user interface, talk about graphics, and also include some information about sound and music. How is sound used in your game? And the last thing to note is that it does help to include images, sometimes maybe storyboard sketches, in the document throughout the game design document to show the reader what specific scenes look like or what specific characters look like and what your game looks like overall. It definitely can help and aid the reader in getting to understand what the game is about. So if you can do these things, you can create a good game design document.